Hey everybody, it's Odd Dustin. Welcome into the Mosh Pit. I'm going to be doing a new series called 5 Hour Reviews where I play a game for a little bit, let you know how I'm feeling about it. Do I want to continue playing it? And some of my thoughts on what I've experienced so far. And yeah, just let you know what I'm thinking. Hopefully, this helps you in your decision if you're thinking about playing this game. And if you like this video, a like would be appreciated. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get into the medium. All right, so I want to let you know with the medium, I'm playing this on PC using the Game Pass Ultimate. So I didn't pay for this game. I got it for free with the Game Pass subscription, and I have not played it on the Series X. So I'm just giving you my opinions on the PC experience. And the first thing that happened was day one, there was a day one patch, and for whatever reason, all my games on Game Pass for PC, instead of just downloading the patch, they download the whole damn game, and that's a Game Pass thing. That is not this game in particular. It's a Game Pass thing. So if you're playing this on Steam, you probably don't have this issue. If you're playing it on Xbox, you probably don't have this issue. It's specific to me. The only thing I've ever seen it happen on is Game Pass for PC, and it's super annoying because the patch doesn't need to be a whole 26 or 27 gig, however big this game is, download when right when I booted it up to play it. So that was a little bit of an annoying part right off the bat before I even started the damn game, and that's a Game Pass issue. So I'm not going to blame the developers on that. The story itself is about Marianne. You're a medium in between worlds. So basically, isn't something that you didn't know at the beginning of the game. It lets you know right off the bat that she knew what she was getting into as a kid, and gives you a little bit of history there. And you're right off into the story where you get a mysterious phone call, and you've got to go start doing some research using both your powers of intuition and your powers to connect to the other side. I found the gameplay very similar to games like Life is Strange, where you walk around, you find some clues, you read some stuff, and it helps kind of gather things. There isn't a whole lot of action. Here and there, there was some stuff within the first 5 hours where I had to run away from something or hide. But for the most part, you're walking around listening to the main voice actress and some side characters, and there's not a lot of choice though. It's not like Life is Strange. You had a lot of different choices to where if you said this to somebody, it really led you down an alternate path. This one's very linear. The storyline is driving you along, but there's not a lot of choice in it. You're just figuring out what happened, moving on to the next piece, and there's some collectibles and things like that that you can find that aren't necessarily 100% necessary to finish the story, but are interesting flavor to add texture to the world. And speaking of the voice acting, I found everything so far that I've experienced in this beginning section to be really great. I felt like there hasn't been anything that took me out of it or that I felt like, whoa, that was really bland or stilted. The voice acting has been pretty great so far. So if you're into that, which I am, then you'll like that part of it at least. But the one thing that kind of did pull me out of it was some of the animations didn't quite match the lip movement. And that could be because the developer is from a different country and maybe they developed it, first and foremost in their own language, which I can totally understand. I think English is probably the second one that they developed it for. So it's kind of odd in some cases. It wasn't anything that pulled you out of the game, but I noticed it. And some of the movements have been a little bit weird. There has been some camera glitches where it wasn't massive. It was just a small little jitter as she walked from one area to the next, or going through different areas. Now, I did turn up the graphics quite a bit. I have a 2070 card, and the 2070 was handling it fine, even with ray tracing turned on. The lighting all still looked really great. But it did jitter a little bit here and there. It was not as much as I thought it was going to be because I had saw some things before the game released saying that it's got some issues. That day one patch may have fixed that. I don't know, but I have been enjoying the way it looks. The game itself is a very pretty game. There's a lot of nice lighting and shadows, and when you're playing a spooky game, you want it to be dark in certain sections, and it definitely handles the dark well. With the way that the light bounces off everything, it feels very natural. So I'm digging the way it looks quite a bit. One odd thing, though, that pulled me out of it a little bit was the experience I had, being that I have a slight affliction with trypophobia, which is the fear of holes. There's a character that you meet right in the beginning whose arms are, she's a dead person, and so her spirit character, her arms are only held on with small little tethers of sinew, and you can see through her arms. So there's these like holes that you can see behind and through her armhole. And for me, that was a little gross. I kind of, I used the skills that I have, which is to look at her face only, try not to look too much at her arm, because it was really grossing me out. Now, I'm playing a horror game, so I want to be grossed out and I want to feel uncomfortable. But just to let you know, there is a slight little trigger there for me. Now, when the game got into kind of the gimmick of the game, which is that you're split between the two different realms, and you can play simultaneously in both realms, I felt like the gimmick itself was pretty cool. So far in the beginning phases of the game, it hasn't gotten too complex. It's gotten enough to where it was interesting, and I like the look and aesthetic of the spirit world. So I'm definitely interested in where this is going, and I want to continue playing the game. And that's one kind of good thing about it, is that it is very simple. There hasn't really been anything too complex in there. There's not a whole lot of story arcs, as it were. It's really just, here's the story. There's not different ways to go and different paths to take. It's really just, hey, this is the way you're supposed to go, and figuring that out. So it's simple gameplay, but and it isn't too scary, really. I haven't really found anything that, even jump scares haven't happened yet in the first 5 hours. So that's not to say that it's not coming, but it hasn't happened yet for me. And I've played the other Bloober Team games, Layers of Fear, Blair Witch, Observer. I really liked Observer. I felt like Observer was probably their best game, in my opinion. But their stuff takes a little bit to get going. The story doesn't just show itself right away. So I know after 5 hours that I've got a lot more to discover. I'm just hoping that it doesn't stay so obfuscated that I don't know what the hell by the end of it. I know at the end of Layers of Fear 2, I just felt like, what the hell was that? But I'm confused on the story currently. I'm getting it a little bit, but there's more I think that I need to discover to really understand what the heck is going on here with Marianne and where the story's taking it. And so I'm excited to see where it goes. So all in all, at the end of the day, I think this is so far turning out to be a pretty interesting game. It's fun to play. It is definitely simple. It is definitely very linear, but I'm expecting that from this game. I didn't expect it to be more than kind of a technical showcase on how they wanted to expand and explore the dual world scenarios, and the story itself. We'll see how that goes, but after 5 hours, I'm still interested in it. I still want to continue playing it and see. It hasn't been something where I've been too frustrated to continue or too bored to continue, and that's always something that'll get me. I think after about 5 hours, if I'm not having fun, why am I still playing this, right? And thank God it's on Game Pass. I know for sure I wouldn't have spent the full price on this game if it was on me buying it through Steam or directly from the Xbox store. If I didn't have Game Pass, that kind of thing, I for sure would hold off until it's on sale, at least by $10. Just because for me, it doesn't have the draw that feels like it's worth a full price for right away, right off the bat. And then that's okay too. I think that some games maybe don't pull you in as much. Like Resident Evil, I'm probably going to, as long as it comes out okay, I'm probably going to be a day one on that kind of thing. So it's like, the big franchises might get me a little bit more than these smaller ones. That's just my opinion. I'd like to hear what yours are in the comments below. Did you play the Medium? Are you going to play it? What are you thinking? How'd you feel about it? Do you feel the same as I do, that it's like Life is Strange but with no choice? And let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear and start talking about the Medium. And I don't know that I'll put up a video once I'm done with it on my final thoughts, but I thought these 5-hour review series would be a good thing to start doing, since I play a lot of games, and it'd be nice to get something out, because sometimes it takes me a little while to get through them. All right, everybody, Thanks for watching. If you like this video, a like would be appreciated, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.
Let me be frank. This case is problematic. My superiors want it to go away. I want it to go away. You can see how your statement complicates that? Comrade?
Yes, I understand.
Some things don't just go away. They stick. They echo.